What's up, Central Illinois business owners? We know that insurance and employee benefits are one of the most expensive, confusing, and frustrating hurdles that you face in your business today. Garrett and I work with Central Illinois businesses to create insurance and risk management programs and employee benefit solutions that reduce risk, enhance your business, and maximize your profitability. Head to CIBLinsurance.com to learn more about insurance solutions that are specifically designed for your Central Illinois businesses and to watch our educational videos about work comp, employee health insurance, commercial insurance, and other insurance products to help your business go to the next level. Go to CIBLinsurance.com. We'll see you there.
Welcome to the Central Illinois Business Leaders Podcast, where business owners, thought leaders, and community champions from across Central Illinois come to share their story. The Central Illinois Business Leaders Podcast. Anything less would be uncivilized.
What's up, Central Illinois? I'm Derek Hayden. I am your host for the Central Illinois Business Leaders Podcast, powered by Zambu. Zambu is a delicious grapefruit or wildberry vodka-based spirit infused with a Brazilian buzz button. It's smooth, tasty, and leaves you with a signature tingle. Learn more at zambuliquors.com. Zambu, taste the tingle. All right, Central Illinois. Today we are joined by the owner-operator of Bloom Hospitality and Catering in Springfield, Illinois. Ladies and gents of Central Illinois, please welcome Gabi Thompson. How are you doing, Gabi?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
Doing very well. Thanks for joining us. We're excited to hear your story. I know you've got a new business that we're getting ready to talk about, but before we do that, Gabi, I'm going to take you through our speed round questions so our audience can get to know you a little bit better. If you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. First question. What was the first concert you ever attended?
Backstreet Boys.
I love it. What's your favorite song?
Oh no, I don't remember
I don't
the titles.
remember either.
I don't remember any titles.
I think the only one that I remember NSYNC is Bye Bye Bye, right?
Bye Bye Bye. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Backstreet Boys. They all sound the same. Yeah. All right. What is your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Man, it's kind of cliche. I really like The Notebook.
That works. What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh, chocolate chip cookie dough. Yeah.
Awesome. Favorite social media platform?
Ooh, TikTok.
We'll ask more about that later. So,
okay.
Are you an iPhone or an Android user?
iPhone.
All right. Yep. And last but not least, why Central Illinois?
I was born and raised here. It's where my parents, rooted us, and it's where I've been.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that works. For pairing, you was pretty quick, Gabi. So nice work.
Thanks.
Cool. Well, Gabi, at this point, what I'd like to do, just give you the microphone. Tell us a little bit about your story, your business, where you started, how you got to where you are today, and anything in between that you'd like to share. So have at it.
Awesome. Thank you. Sure. So I am 32 years old. Like I said, was born and raised here in Springfield. My parents owned a restaurant, Chicago authentic style restaurant when I was born. It's called Scampy's. I had my first birthday party there. I used to beg my parents to take me to work with them every single day. I just loved it. I really quite literally grew up in the industry. It's embedded in me. And throughout my career, when I started working, I, picked up jobs at local restaurants and bars here in town, and I just stuck with it. I've been the general manager of a few local restaurants. I've learned and got to work with some really amazing people that have helped me develop, my love for the industry even more, and kind of fine tune some skills. Right before COVID hit, I started dabbling in the catering business. We all know how that story went.
Yep.
Shut down quite a bit. So during that time, though, catering was newer to me. Catering is vastly different than restaurants, I would say. I think most would agree. So I learned how to really become adaptive and quite literally cater to different needs and different situations. So I'm really thankful and grateful for that time, just as a learning process and learning curve. And then at the beginning of the year, it's always been a dream of mine to own my own business. I have always wanted to follow in those footsteps. My dad actually passed away when I was 6, so that's when we closed the restaurants, and my mom stepped away from that industry. And I have 2 children, and I want to put them in a position to see their mom, do what she loves, and not just preach you can be anything and do anything you want, but really set the example for that. So Bloom was bloomed, I guess.
Nice.
That name was not something that I had ever thought I would use or planned on. I just was doing some writing exercises and like, what am I going to call this thing? And it just means to me, a time of freshness, vigor, and it just really fit with me personally and professionally at the moment. So our logo is actually a super cool knife and a snapdragon that's wrapped around it. Snapdragons were my dad's favorite flower. So that's
Very cool.
kind of where that comes from.
Excellent.
Yeah, and that's kind of how we're here now. So
Awesome.
I'm super pumped for sure.
Well, that's perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a lot of questions I can ask you. So,
Cool.
so for Bloom Hospitality and Catering, first off, for the listeners, I'm looking at Gabby's website. It is called bloomcaters.com.
Yes.
So, and at the very top says Bloom Hospitality and Catering. So just so you know that you found the right place when you get there. So tell us a little bit about who you work with. What is your ideal client?
So we work with really a vast range of clientele. I've done quite a bit of lunches, smaller drop-offs, sandwiches, wraps. We have some events coming up, more corporate dine-in lunches, if you will. We can do weddings. I'm pretty much equipped to handle anything up to probably like 500 people. So I think, you name it, we can do it. I work with Chef Drew Casey. He's awesome. He really thrives in a small group setting. He's really, really culinarily talented, does awesome private dinners. So we're very open to just the opportunity to, again, adapt to whatever your needs are for food. It's always a different experience. Yeah.
Excellent. So you mentioned that your menu is pretty diverse and you're kind of able to, no pun intended, cater to your clients. So tell us a little bit about the menu and how you can kind of adapt to what your client wants.
For sure. So the menu to me is more of a template. It's like, all right, let's look at this. Let's get some ideas. But hey, like we want a Greek themed appetizer grazing station. It's like, yeah, cool. We can totally do that. So I like to just use that as these are ideas, but let's bounce around the conversation and see, what really I did a baby shower once and I was like, what's your favorite food? Like, what have you been craving this whole time? Like we could do just kind of, whatever everyone else wants, but she was craving pizzas. So we did brunch breakfast pizzas and they were awesome. Yeah. So whatever you want.
Very cool. So you recently launched, just looking at your website, it looks like
it's pretty fresh still.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So as far as like, what's been your biggest challenge as far as like getting your name out there? What have you seen as being a hurdle for Bloom?
I mean, we are very fresh. I just launched technically to the public. I started our Facebook on May 2nd. Okay. So we've been permitted with the health department since beginning of April. Cool. But it is, I think that there's so much power in the word of mouth. Advertising is obviously very important in marketing, and social media and all these platforms are super important, the podcasts, interviews, all this stuff. But what I really am striving for right now is getting in front of clients and then they're like, yeah, that was awesome. You got to try Bloom. That in my experience of just hospitality in general, that's always your greatest force is, really impressing someone and then them sharing that with their friends.
Absolutely. So do you partner with any, like, I want to say like reception halls or venues of that, just to try to help get your name out there and let them kind of be a voice for you?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, coming from the industry, I've been super fortunate to meet and get to connect with people in, the same industry and the venues, the bartenders. So I've reached out to as many people as I know, and I'm like, hey, like we're here. I'd love if you spread the word. Paul's Paradise, Sherry and Paul out there, they're fantastic. But yeah, we're really just trying to state fairgrounds, that sort of thing. Aaron's
Cool.
Pavilion. We
Yeah.
definitely reached out to them. It's worth mentioning too. So we are licensed and permitted to sublease kitchen space through 3 Twigs and Company. So yep, on what is that, Chatham Road and Isles. So that is where our kitchen is located. We operate out of there when they're not functioning. So it's not a partnership. We're not, sharing food or menus or that sort of thing. But we do see a lot of opportunity to, use their baked goods and items in our menu, and then hopefully vice versa. They're not in the catering business, so they're kind of helping spread the word for us too, if you will.
Great. Well, that sounds like a unique opportunity to use space that, is available to you. So
we're really thankful for it. Yeah.
For other business owners listening to this, like this goes to show you that you don't have to go out and buy a building, buy a bunch of equipment. Not that you're going to open a catering operation, but I know a lot of business owners feel like they have to like go out and spend $100,000 just to get their business started.
Yeah. And we were really struggling with that at first. Honestly, it was like, where are we going to do this? And, it's so important to me that you follow and adhere to the policies and guidelines set by the health department, right? Like you don't want to, you can't have any mishaps happening with that. So, it was actually their idea. They're like, why don't you reach out to some other businesses and see if you can sublease space? It's, a very common way for a lot of startups to happen. So, Emily and Tim at 3 Twigs are just the best people. Some of the best people I've ever met in my life. So we're, again, just super grateful that they're willing to share their space with us and learn from them and grow with them too. It's awesome.
That's very cool. So obviously headquartered in Springfield, what's your radius look like as far as how far you'll reach out?
So I'm very much a yes person. I have a hard time saying no. So if it is within my means to travel, I will. Catering's interesting because you really have to have a venue set up to equip you to do what you need to do. But we get pretty creative. But I would say 30 to 45 miles outside of Springfield is probably, a very realistic cap. We could go farther depending upon the needs, where the location is, that sort of thing.
Awesome. So you mentioned as far as working with a chef, you've got a chef, and I'm sure he probably has a team that helps him too. Yes. When you are catering to a venue, is it you or do you also have a team?
Yeah, so I have a team. I like to it's kind of like a bench, if you will. Catering's interesting because you don't always need people all the time. And I've always felt like the hospitality industry, restaurant industry is kind of fluid within itself. It can be very transitional for some people to be employed in this industry. So it's kind of nice because I can, call on this great group of people that I have. I'm like, hey, this is what we have right now. Are you available? Or are you not? And then that, that helps them too, pick and choose, based upon their needs and what their schedules are. So, but yeah, we definitely have a team. We can do, full service, the whole cleanup. It's, we try to cover all bases just to make events as easy as possible for the hosts and for their guests.
Awesome. So I know a lot of businesses today, especially post-pandemic, where finding people and attracting people to work with you is difficult because a lot of people have kind of migrated to online or work from home. Has that been a struggle for you as well as you're trying to assemble your team?
So not yet so far. Again, that's kind of a perk to catering is that a lot of the legwork can go into the work before the actual event. So you have to be just strategic and I think very organized. And I mean, fortunately, I've had kind of a solid group of people that have been with me through the years that I've used on and off when needed and when they're available. But that's not to say that it won't become an issue, especially for bigger events. I definitely feel for those that are in the restaurant, the brick and mortar businesses right now, because I know that the struggle is real. I mean, I've been there. But fortunately, not right now.
Okay.
So for us,
yeah, I gotcha. Well, I'm trying to find your Facebook page here because it said you launched that recently. But in in the intro or in your speed round questions, you mentioned TikTok is your favorite platform for social media.
It is.
Tell me a little bit about TikTok. Do you use it for business, or are you more of a consumer, or
Oh,
why do you like
man.
TikTok so much?
I haven't started anything for the business yet. I'm a sucker for TikTok. It's like my
It's so
I
easy
don't
to
really
watch.
gosh, I don't watch a lot of TV. It's kind of my end of the day, you know, decompress.
Uh-huh.
What funny cat videos are gonna pop up, like what's gonna make me laugh and kind of chill out for a little bit. So
Yeah.
try to keep
Yeah.
it not too serious.
Absolutely. Well, I like it because this is weird too, because they know exactly what you're on there to look for.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
really make videos. I started to, and it like just took me too much time to make videos. Like
It's a lot.
it,
I am
yes.
impressed by the content these people make.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so like I watch it for business stuff. Like I love
Okay.
learning about business and taxes and
Yes.
like how to make it all work together. I have a Blackstone grill, so like I
Oh
look up
yeah, us
Blackstone
too.
recipes and air
Oh yeah.
fryer recipes. And
Yes.
it looks like I'm kind of an old lady on there because I have like gardening tips and like how to, can pickles and that type of stuff. So
It's awesome. It's all the best advice for easy ways to do stuff. I
yeah,
mean, how can you
yeah,
not love it?
it's hacks for everything. Yeah, people think I'm a
Absolutely.
genius at some of the things, and I learned
Right.
it on TikTok. Like, how'd you know that? TikTok.
Yeah. Sometimes I tell people, I'm like, yeah, I read this thing. And like, nah, I saw it on TikTok, but it sounds good if I said I read it.
Yeah, exactly. So if you had, I'm on your Facebook page now, and I
Yeah.
see, actually just recently you posted about Chef Drew Casey.
Yeah.
Looks like you're growing your follow. I mean, you're up to almost 300 people following you in a
Yeah.
very short amount of time. So
We're trying.
do you use, have you got some inquiries through Facebook? Do you use that for leads as well?
Yeah, we have. We've actually a lot of the initial
Awesome.
inquiries came through Facebook. The first week we started, my kids, it was teacher appreciation week for my kids' school, and
Cool.
we handed out little I made like individual charcuterie boxes, which I was like, you know what? Like my kids are taking them. Maybe other people would be interested, and posted
Sure.
a few stories, and we had a ton of orders for those, and they went over really well. So that was cool because it's a unique gift to give someone else, and that's kind of something I like to do with Bloom too. Is there's so many things outside the box that you can do with catering and with food, and it's such a love language. So that was cool. But yeah, we've definitely got a lot of inquiries and messages through there. It's been great.
That's awesome. So if I am a person who is wanting to, learn more about the catering, maybe get your pricing, figure
Yes.
out, if maybe I have a certain menu item in mind that I want to see if someone can do, how would they best reach out to you? What would you recommend to be the place that they go to learn more?
I would recommend that they go to our website. It
Okay.
is still being developed, but if they wanted to quickly send in an inquiry, it's the first thing that pops up on the website. And then right to, I believe the right on that page is a tab to see our menu with current pricings. Some things are market price. Everyone understands how food prices are right now. Goes the same for us. So we do have to adapt and change as the market
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, I mean, and if as we're growing and getting more content, more physical pictures are definitely on Facebook at the moment. But next week we have a plan to really grow that content on the website too. So I would
Very cool.
steer them towards the website. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So you're on your website. Are you building your website, or have you outsourced that to someone else?
I have outsourced it to
Okay.
someone else. I have built online ordering systems in the past, and it is tough. So we have an awesome guy that works with us, and he's done all the legwork. And then, I'm familiar enough with some of the back end stuff that I can change things here and there. That's cool too about owning your own business and being in this position is you really learn a lot.
You do.
Yeah.
And kudos to you for just I won't say you jumped in because you had some experience in the restaurant industry, maybe not a ton, but a little bit, at least from your family. And as you kept going through,
Yeah.
Your careers, you maybe not on the ownership side, but you had some restaurant
Right.
experience.
Lots of restaurant
So
experience and management experience. Yes. But
yes,
not as an owner. You're right. Yes.
yeah. And I think just kind of jumping in, and I won't say forcing yourself to learn, but that's almost what you have to do is like, obviously if you've maybe had some tough outcomes on building websites and marketing schemes, but you launch a business, like you've got to figure it out, or the alternate
Absolutely.
is not selling food. So
Yeah.
I think that's something that a lot of business owners that are new or wanting to start or want to
Yeah.
grow, they think that they have to know everything
You don't,
before.
you won't.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
never will. And the only way that people do know it is they took a leap and started going,
You just got to go.
build the boat as you're in the water. So basically that's what you
Absolutely.
gotta do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the harder, I will say I got stuck in a little rut there for a second. It's like, I don't know if I can do it. And then it was just like, I think your support system and the team that's around you obviously is so important. And they're just like, go, like you
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
do it. So
Absolutely. So do you have like a mentor or someone that you can go to ask questions, or how do you, what's your resource there?
yeah. So I mean, I feel like I have a lot of really close friends in the industry that, there's nothing like when you sit down and talk with someone that really hands-on relates to like what you're going through, and you're just
Yeah.
nothing feels quite as good as when you get to just talk openly and you're like, they get it.
Hmm.
The co-owner in the business his name's John, and he's my partner in the business. He's my partner
Hmm.
in real life too.
Hmm.
So he's definitely been probably my biggest support system. Not definitely, he has been my biggest support system and biggest fan. And it was just like, you can do this, we can do this, like let's just go. He's an accountant by trade. So we discussed math a little bit before
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
not my strong suit. So it's really nice to have someone that you can work with as a team. And he's learning this new process of restaurants and catering. I'm learning a new process of more behind the scenes things. So yeah, it's great. I feel very fortunate to have him.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's excellent. So
Yeah.
yeah, new business owners, there's so much stuff that you don't know. You have a good idea,
Yes.
but the good idea is like, okay, how do I take the first step? Do I need to start my marketing? Do I need to set up a website?
Right.
How do I get a tax ID number? How do I set up an LLC if I'm going to be an LLC or a corporation?
Right.
Am I going to be a sole proprietor? Like there's so many things that you have
Yes.
to, try to figure out. But I feel like if you try to figure all that out on day one, you're never going to start the business.
No.
You do just kind of have to jump in and go and use resources like mentors or
Mhm.
or the Central Illinois Business Leaders Podcast, to listen to what other business owners have done
Totally.
and just kind of learn as you go, see what works best for you.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, you'll figure it out.
Right. And there's so many resources too. And something I've really learned in the last couple of weeks is whether you're in the same business model with some of these owners or not in Springfield, there's a great support system for local businesses in our community. Like everyone wants everyone to succeed.
Mhm.
So I've found a lot of help with just being like, you know what? I'm just going to ask. I'm just going to ask this question and see if they've had an experience in that or not. And
Yeah.
the outcome of that has been overwhelmingly positive. Really.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
So on the educational side, do you read or do you listen to podcasts, or how have you kind of consumed content to learn from?
I do read a lot, actually. I really enjoy, motivational books, books that revolve around strong habits, and really just kind of getting to like break down you and know like what makes you tick, and how to respond to situations, how to respond to people. I think that's so important you gotta have, that can't fill from an empty cup, right? Like you gotta really
Right.
have a solid base to start with. But I listen to lots of podcasts. I mean, knowledge is wealth, right? Like it's
Mhm.
free, it's everywhere. And I think that, you're doing yourself a disadvantage if you're not striving to learn something every day. It's there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you have any recommendations for books for our listeners at all?
So just recently, James Clear, Atomic Habits,
Okay.
awesome. He's got an email. It's free too that you can sign up on his website. And it's just, kind of revolves around like habit stacking and doing things that work for you, and taking the win in small victories too.
Mhm.
Not everything has to be this huge, massive win. Like,
Yeah.
there's small things that you can do every day that it's like, all right, cool. Yeah, I dominated that day. That's good. So
Very cool. That's actually been a popular one with business owners. It seems like the
really,
Atomic Habits
it's a
is
great.
a
I
big one.
mean, he's awesome. I've read it twice.
Have you really?
It resonated differently the second time I read it. Actually.
Really?
So yep.
So I read it the first time, and I probably should go back and read it because I read it about a year and a half ago. I
Yeah,
should probably go back and read it again.
you should.
So,
It's interesting. If you've created any of those habits, it just reads differently. It was really cool. So
yeah. One, and I don't know how involved are you in like sales? Are you ever like trying to sell Bloom to people, or is it more of a marketing and setting up relationships? The only reason I ask that I have a book.
Like, I guess maybe elaborate more on that question. I don't know if I'm understanding totally.
So I was going to give you a book recommendation, and for all our listeners, they probably heard me recommend this once or twice before, but the book's called Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss.
Okay.
And uses, this guy was he's an ex FBI hostage negotiator. And he talks about the tactics he used when negotiating in the FBI, and then like twists it to how you can use it in business. And even if you don't do a ton of sales, you can use it to learn more information like that will help you get the business or help you gain more information from the person so you can solve a problem.
I love that.
He just he shows you how to do it, and I use it almost daily. I use it a lot in this podcast. And I don't even know if I've used it on you today, but I use a lot of the tactics in regular, daily conversations now, because it's just really good at setting up your questions so you get the outcome that you desire, but not putting people in the corner like they have to say, yes, I want to hire you. It's really cool. So I would highly recommend
I'll have that. I'll have that here soon. That sounds awesome. Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. Believe it or not, we're coming up on the 30-minute mark.
Wow. Does go quick.
I know it. It's crazy. Before we jump off of here, I'm on your website again. So we have the menu in the top right corner. I'm just kind of looking through the menu. Like you said, if there's something that's not on the menu that someone is really wanting at their, whatever their event is, they can contact you. There's a high likelihood that you can handle it.
Yes.
If they want to learn more, they can go to the website. There's an inquiry button, or not button, a page where you can type in your information to get more info from Gabi on it. Is there anything else that you want the listeners and followers to learn more about before we jump off of here?
We're just kind of in a spot right now where if you're in the market, give us a try. Like I put hospitality in the name for a reason. I think that food service is so much more than the meal. I think it's the ease and the the entire experience around what's happening. So I strive to make that different and memorable. So I would just love the opportunity just to chat. And if we can work something out, awesome.
Excellent. Well, make sure you guys all check out Gabi. If you have an event coming out, check out Gabi and Bloom Hospitality and Catering out of Springfield. She can at least give you more information, let you know more about what she can do, and there's a good chance that she can hook you up with some catering. So, for all you listeners out there, make sure you're subscribing to the CIBL podcast on your favorite podcast platform. While you're there, please leave a review. It'd be greatly appreciated. You can also find us on social media, mainly on Facebook and LinkedIn, and you can connect with Garrett and I there personally as well. Until next time, Gabi, you've officially been civilized.
Cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Central Illinois Business Leaders Podcast. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/CIBL Podcast. You can also follow us on LinkedIn. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It's the civilized thing to do.